Hello everyone and welcome back to Age of Nagash, which is a channel dedicated to Age of Sigmar. And in this video, it's going to be my review of this year's Age of Sigmar Battleforce boxes, or more kind of commonly known as like the big Christmas boxes Games Workshop does for certain armies. So important to know, in this video, we're only going to be reviewing the Age of Sigmar ones as stated. We're not reviewing the 40k ones. This isn't a 40k channel. 40k is cool. I delve into it with like Imperial Knights and stuff, but I'm just going to say the 40k boxes are fine. Like, I don't know, the Necron one looks the coolest to me. But anyway, so in this video we will be reviewing the 4 Age of Sigmar ones, which, yep, I believe that's slightly less than 40k, but oh well. So we have Ogor tribes, Disciples of Tzeentch, Bloomspike kits, and Cad Overlords. And the main question we'll be asking ourselves throughout this is, should you buy this? As by the time this video goes out, I believe the weekend coming up will be the pre-order weekend, so hopefully you guys will get a bit of a better idea before the weekend if you're going to order them or not. Hopefully what I can tell you in this video and the information I can give will help you make up your mind on that one. Of course, if you're watching this in the future, the Battleforces are probably still about, especially within the first year of their release, so it's still going to be helpful to yourself. And just before we begin, all I'm going to ask, guys, is if you do enjoy this video whilst you're watching it, please smash that like button and that subscribe button if you haven't already. I usually just ask you guys to do this at the end of the videos, but I'm going to start asking you at the start as well, just to... I know some of you guys really enjoy the videos, and if you just press that like button, it makes a huge difference for me on YouTube and really does help out the channel. So with all that aside, let us get on with it. So the first one we are going to review is going to be the Ogor Tribes Battleforce box, named Meat Grinder Warglut. A lovely sounding name. Okay, so the first thing I want to say about this, and as you can see on your screens now, we have got basically some bullet points put up and just some facts as well that we have. So with price, at the moment there is no confirmed price, but rumour has it it's going to be about £120 or £125 per Battleforce box. That is subject to change, but as far as I understand, that is the most likely price. So if you're watching this in the future, even just a week in the future, and on pre-order and the price is slightly different, just take this with a pinch of salt. But like I said, I want to do my review before the pre-order to try and help you guys make up your decisions. But anyway, so the price of this one, like I say, about £120 to £125, and then depending on which one of those prices it is, it's a saving of £70/65. Which, of course, it may be dollars in your currency. Unfortunately, I am not going to go through every single currency that you can use, and I'm just going to stick with pounds. So, a saving of £70 to £65. It's not a bad saving. What I will say of these Battleforce boxes is that, so when Battleforce boxes first came out about 3, maybe 4 years ago now, they were fantastic. They were like £100 for a box. They were all £100, and you got anywhere from probably about 170 to, I think the Stormcast one was like £208 worth of stuff. Unbelievably good, but they sold out really, really quickly. What Games Workshop has done since then is basically more mass produce them so they don't sell out so quickly, but also dramatically reduce the saving you get on these boxes compared to when they first came out. But I think that a saving of £70 to £65, which you'll see when we go through the rest, is a very similar saving. A lot of them are priced the same if you were to buy it all individually. It's not a bad saving. I think it's better than some of the ones we had before. I think we had some like a Battleforce box at £100, but you really only save like 30 quid or something. So it's not bad as far as Battleforce boxes go. I just wanted to get that out there. And then the other stat I put up is the points. So how many points are you going to get from this Battleforce box? So for the Ogres, you can get a minimum points of 1,240, so 1,240 that is, or 1,320, so 1,320. And the reason why there's difference is because there's different ways you can build this army. And it really just comes down to, if you put the one battle eye unit, you get in this army of 12 Ogre Gluttons. If you put that all in one unit, and then you get the mass like Legion discount of being a 12 in one unit. Or obviously if you split them up, you're not going to get that discount there as it gets to 1,320. And you'll see that kind of repeated as we go on, depending on how you build the models from this army. Okay, So what does this include? It includes 27 models. So bear in mind this is an Ogre Battleforce box. That's not a bad amount of models, to be honest with you. So you get one hero, which is the Ogre Tyrant, and this is the Ogre Tyrant that was in the Feast of Bones box, which they recently made him able to be bought separately, and they put him in this box for you. So that's nice. He's like the... Okay, there's people who are going to disagree with me with this one because they like classic models and everything, but it's the nicest, gutbuster hero. He's all plastic and he's very good. So that's my personal opinion. Okay, so you get one hero. You're going to get one battle line. So, like I say, you get 12 Ogre Gluttons, and obviously you could go, well, you could take them in units of 3, so that could be 4 battle lines, but for argument's sake, I've just grouped them into one. So you've got one battle line unit, essentially. And then you've got 2 battle line if units. So what do I mean by that? And that means if you take a certain general, i.e. a Gutbuster as your general, you unlock the next 2 unit choices as battle line. And that is going to be 4 Lead Belchers and 4 Iron Guts. So Lead Belchers are the ones with the cannons that fire all the shrapnel. And then the Iron Guts. So if you think normal ogres are quite big and brutish, the Iron Guts really do take it to the next level and basically are kind of close to tyrants. So they are the big ogres wielding double-handed weapons, quite often like maces, and they have the really, really cool looking helmets. So that is going to be your battle line if options, and then you're going to have one artillery, which is going to be the Iron Blaster, so a massive cannon being pulled by that very cool looking Rhinox, and then we are going to have one Behemoth, which is actually going to have to be an ally. So of course when I review things I do have like a match play focus on, and that's not just saying like really competitive, it's a focus on just being able to play with points and all that sort of thing. So in terms of that, in the Ogre Moortribe sub-allegiance, a Man Crusher Gargant, so a giant, is not part of your army, so you're going to have to ally it in. Not a problem, but it's not going to benefit from your allegiance abilities and everything else. So that's just something you should bear in mind, and something that is the thing that annoys me about this box. To be honest with you, I do like this box, but it annoys me because if you're new to the game, you would naturally just think the giant, it just basically looks like a big ogre. So why would it not be part of the army? I kind of feel like they should have put in a Stonehorn and Thunder Tusk kit, or maybe even just a pack of Mournfangs or something. It would just be, it would just feel more right and not as deceiving. And I'm not saying that's what Games Workshop is trying to do, but we all know what Games Workshop is like. So, okay. And that really is this box. So, is this box something you should get? So, what I want to say is that it's got a good saving on it. You're going to get a huge amount of points out of this box, in terms of points from when you play the game. Because, like I say, you can build this to be 13, 20 points. And you can even expand that. And this isn't something I've got written down on the screen, because it's a little bit more complex than just building the box as it comes. But often with the Ogre kits, the standard like Ogre Gluttons and the Lead Belchers and the Iron Guts, their body is often like just, I think it's just one big piece. And then you can put on the arms for the Iron Guts on just a normal Ogre Glutton. And you can do the same with the Lead Belchers. So you can turn your normal Ogre Gluttons into Iron Guts and Lead Belchers. That doesn't mean that you're going to have loads of Iron Guts bits and stuff lying around in the box, loads of spares to be able to convert them. I'll be honest with you, I've never personally worked the Iron Guts, so I don't know how many spares you get in that kit. You could have some, you could have none. I know the Lead Belchers, though, I think you do tend to get maybe an extra cannon or something. Again, I may be wrong, but I have worked in that kit, and I think you did. So I think when I had the Feast of Bones box, I'm pretty sure I converted a Ogre Gluttons into Lead Belchers. I may have only been able to convert 1 or 2, but it still adds up at the end of the day. So you really do have that flexibility, potentially, or even if you don't have the bits in this box, if you're a avid Ogre player, you may have gathered quite a nice bits box over time, and now you can use all those bits to help you make, I don't know, more Lead Belchers, more Iron Guts maybe. So in summary of that, I'm not saying you can turn all these 12 Ogre Gluttons into Lead Belchers, but maybe 1 or 2. So, which is quite nice and something you don't see straight as when you look at the box. So that's cool. And with that, I do like this box because you're going to get, like I say, a high points number, and if you do like the little conversions like that, even higher. It's half of a 2,000 point army, and it can really get to 3/4 of a 2,000 point army as well, which is very nice. You know, particularly if you build this in the most points costed way, if you wanted, you're probably going to be around 1,500 points if you do like the minor conversions and stuff like I just mentioned. And this box is really full for the, it says Ogre Mortries, but it really is the Gutbuster part. I really can't stress that bit enough. This is not your Beastclaw Raiders. And because the Beastclaw Raiders and the Gutbusters on a competitive level don't work the best together, you can mix them. You can go for, you know, mainly a Gutbuster army, and then you can have your heavy hitters being your Stonehorns. They are very good in the game at the moment, and it does work. But in terms of like synergies passing over, all the Gutbuster synergies don't pass on to the Beastclaw Raiders, or vice versa. So if you really do like the Gutbuster part and you're not a big fan on the Beastclaw Raiders, and you're like, oh, the only Ogre Mortribes, you know, start collecting boxes for the Beastclaw Raiders, here you go. This is for you, essentially. This is your box to get fantastic value, because really have to buy these units separately to get the most out of them. Of course, Feast of Bones, you know, you can still get one of those lying around. That's good, but you've got half of a Bone Reaper army. If you're not interested in that, then you're going to try and sell it on. Get this box instead, because I think they're probably around the same sort of price, to be honest with you. So yeah, that's why I like this box. Okay, so going on to our next one, which will be the Disciples of Tzeentch, belonging to the Grand Alliance Chaos. And this is the Fate Sworn Host. Okay, so again, we're thinking that this is going to be £120 to £125. Not guaranteed, but it's been heavily rumoured that is the price for these boxes. So that would give you a saving of £70/£65, because like the Ogre Mortries box, and most of them, they come to £190 if you bought them separately, which I kind of think is a bit weird. It's almost like they said for like the majority of them, you have £190 worth of stuff you can put into these boxes. Like, that's what Games Workshop is telling to its team. You know, make it happen. So it's weird how that was their budget. But anyway, it's weird like how it just all adds up the same. So when I got my calculator out and started adding it all up, it just felt a bit samey. But looking at the points, so you've got 1,100 points to 1,220 points, depending on how you build your army. Like I said, you can build things that are more expensive in points as not. You've got that customization again in this box like you did with the Ogre Mortries, but to a bigger level, I would say. So what are you going to get in this box? So it includes 35 models, which is a nice amount of models, but just bear in mind that these models, bar a few of them, are not as big or bigger than ogres. You know, most of the numbers of these models come up from your Acolytes or your Zangors. Of course, like Enlightened are bigger and stuff, and obviously the Lord of Change, but that's just something to bear in mind. So you're going to get 2 heroes in this box. So you've got one Lord of Change / Kairos Fate Weaver. And what do I mean by that? So that means obviously the Lord of Change kit can be built into Kairos Fate Weaver, who is the named character. Depending on how you want to build your army, the named character Kairos Fate Weaver is more expensive in points than the Lord of Change. And then you've got a Gaunt Summoner of Tzeentch as well, who is very popular. Okay, going on to Battle Line, you do have 2 units of Battle Line. So this is going to be 20 Carrick Acolytes and 10 Zangors as well. So again, you know, you can have units of 10 Carrick Acolytes if you wanted to, as far as I'm aware. So you can, you know, have 3 battle lines out of this. But when I say like 2 battle lines, what I really mean, again, it was like with the Ogres, how many battle line war scrolls are you getting out of this? So there you are. And then you've got one other unit. So this is something that's not a battle line, not a behemoth, not an artillery, not a leader, hero, that sort of thing. And this is going to be either Zangor Enlightened on disc, and Zangor Skyfires. So it's quite a few options there, and that's really just because you get 3 models from that one kit. So just one box of Zangor Enlightened if you like, but you can put them on disc, and you can turn to Zangor Skyfires instead. So they're the ones with the sheep bows. So you have got that. Okay, so my sort of overall thoughts on this box. I'm a bit torn, to be completely honest with you. And really, the reason behind that is because The most competitive way to play Tzeentch is by spamming certain units and just generally running Tzeentch demons. So, to be honest, when I say I'm torn about this, the only thing I say about that is because I say, like, you know, if they wanted to give you a competitive box, they would give you basically a more precise and bigger version of the Start Collecting box. So I am happy with this box. I'm not going to say I'm torn, I'm going to say I'm happy because I like the mortal side of the Disciples of Tzeentch, the Acolytes, the that sort of thing, just because they're the coolest models, in my honest opinion. If you watch my Why Play Disciples of Tzeentch video, you can tell that half that video was me just saying that I prefer the mortals. They're not as good, but I still prefer them. And quite honestly, this is a very nice box because the favourite demon I have, and really the only one I like from the range, because I think, sorry to burst anyone's bubble if they like Disciples of Tzeentch demons and stuff, but for me, they're just old and they look ugly and everything. But the Lord of Change is a very nice model. Despite people saying, you know, it's just a big chicken, I like it a lot. So to get one of those in this box, if I was collecting the Disciples of Tzeentch, it would be a nice treat, and especially a lovely centerpiece for this box. The Zangors as well, I've actually purchased a box of those in the past. I don't have them anymore, but they were cool. I really like to work on them, come up with some cool colour schemes. The like I say, the Cat Acolytes, I really like those models. And the Zangor on Disc and Enlightened are nice as well. You know, they're just big Zangors. If you look at the Gaunt Summoner, personally, I'm not a massive fan of the aesthetic, but I prefer it more than the Tzeentch Demons. So I'm happy with it as well. I know it's also a competitive choice, and like it's a nice thing because if you wanted to buy it separately, it can be quite expensive. And then originally it came in Silver Tower as well. So yeah, I quite like this box. So if you are looking into doing Disciples of Tzeentch, should you buy this box? If you want to play as competitively as you can with the Disciples of Tzeentch, don't take this box. And I will say there's a caveat with that. Depending on when you're watching this, there could have been a new German's Handbook out, there could be an FAQ, there could even be a new Tzeentch Battletome for all we know. And the way people play Tzeentch might have changed. You know, there might be counters now to the Pink Horror and Flamer spam, and really, like, that could be the situation. And then it could be like the Mortals who are the stronger side. But at the moment, the Demons are the stronger side. So if you really want to go competitively as hard as you can with Tzeentch, and you don't want to be different, you just want to do what all the others do, this is not going to be the box for you. However, if you want to play as Tzeentch and be cool, this, hands down, is going to be the box for you. And it saves you, like I said, £70 or £65 depending on what the final price this is going to be. And the nice thing as well is the Start Collecting box for Tzeentch is all demons. So if you really want to do a Mortal Force, at the time it's recording, again, I'm pretty goddamn sure there is no Start Collecting box for the Mortal side, or even just like a bundle box somewhere. So this would be very useful for you if you would like it. Of course, if you want to go very heavy with the Mortals, you're going to need more than 10 or 20 Carrick Acolytes from this box. You are going to want to have a huge amount of them, which I think would look awesome on the table, but you're not going to buy this box so many multiple times to try and get that many Carrick Acolytes. But one of these boxes could be good. If you want to go with loads of Lords of Change and go for that list, because I know there's like a list with 3 Lords of Change, you could maybe buy 3 of these boxes depending on, you know, your budget, but I think one box is good. So yeah, that's my overall thoughts. You want to be as most competitive as you can be now, don't buy it. If you just want to buy the models because you really like the look at them, but the Mortals can still be good, it's just they get overlooked because the Demons are so good, get the box. Because you can still play well with them, and you can still do good, and they can still be competitive, just not that top tier pinnacle where the Horrors and Flamer Spam, like I talked about, is. Okay, so with the Chaos Disciples of Tzeentch Phase 1 Host Battleforce box done, let us move on to the next one, which of course is going to belong to Grand Alliance Order, being Khadon Overlords and a Barak Nar Skyfleet. So what is the price for this one? Again, £120 to £125, depending on what it finalises. And the saving again is going to be £70/£65. As, like I said, they basically, with most of them, apart from the last one we'll get to in a moment, said, right, £190 is the budget. That's it. It just feels weird how they add up all to that. Okay, so the points of this though is 900, so that's really low, and it's not 900 slash this slash that, it's just 900. You can't make it any more expensive no matter how you build it. So what does it include? It only includes 10 models, but they're more elite. Okay, so you're going to get one hero, which is Brook Gronguson, and apologise for how much I butcher that name. So he is the Lorg Magnet of Barak-Nar. So I don't really care if I mispronounce that, that's just how it is. And he is, of course, the guy with the guns in his moustache, and he is the named character, if you like, for all the Chaos Overlords that we have at the moment. Okay, and then essentially the rest of the box is going to be 4 Battle Line if units. So I've already explained what that means, and what you're going to get is 6 Engine Ringers slash Sky Wardens. So these are the dwarves with the balloons on their back, where you can build, I don't know, 3 of them as the Engine Ringers, 3 of them as the Sky Wardens, or always one or the other. And how do they become Battle Line? Now they become Battle Line if you have a Endrid Master with a drillable suit. So that is essentially the guy you got from the Ether War box, I believe it was called, where it was Tzeentch versus Kaldon Overlords. He's like the latest Kaldon Overlords model to came out, and he is the only hero with a balloon on his back, apart from, of course, Brook himself. Okay, so he needs to be your general to make them Battle Line, and then you're also going to get a Grundstock Gun Hauler. So this is going to be the 2 smaller boats, essentially the smallest boats you can get for the Kaldon Overlords, and you can get 2 of them in this, and then they can be, you know, Battle Line. And then you have also got a Behemoth that can be Battle Line, which is going to be the Archnaut Frigate, and the Gun Hauler and the Archnaut Frigate become Battle Line if you take them in the sub-legions of Barak-Nar, which, you know, Barak-Nar, Skyfleet being the name of this box, kind of makes sense anyway, but that's just how it is in the Kaldon Overlords Battle Tome. Anyway, so you have a lot of units that can be Battle Line, but only in certain conditions, which you can do, but, you know, they're not straight up Battle Line. So what are my real thoughts on this box? If I'm honest, this isn't my favourite box at all, really. I think it's cool, you know, you get lots of elite, you know, well, I say you get a lot of elite troops. You get basically 6, and then you get the 2 small ships, and then the 1 medium-sized one, and then you get the cool name character. However, the start collecting box for the Kaldon Overlords is pretty good anyway, because you're going to get a Endrid Master or Engine Master, however it's pronounced. You're going to get one of them, who's the hero. You're going to get a set of 5 Grundstock Thunderers as well, so they're like the elite shooty guys, if you like, you know, on foot. And then you're going to get a set of 3 Sky Wardens and then a Grundstock Gun Hauler. So that means that, let's say you double this up, you buy 2 of these, there's £120, right? So that is either bang on how much this box costs, or maybe £5 less, okay? And you're going to get your 2 Gun Haulers, you're going to get your 2 small ships, you're going to get your 6 Sky Wardens, who are, you know, the Balloon Boys, or however you want to build them. And you're going to get 10 Thunderers, and then 2 Engine, you know, Masters. So, does that mean that, oh, they're the best units you want for the game, why wouldn't you just buy 2 of these boxes? In all honesty, with Kaldon Overlords, I don't know. I don't think it is the most competitive way to play. I don't think Thunderers are as good as they once were, but then they got nerfed, so maybe they are better if they are now. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is, you're going to get all of that instead of what you're going to get in the Battle Force, which essentially is, instead of the 10 Thunderers and the 2 Engine Masters, you're getting Brook Gronguson, however it is pronounced, and then you're getting a frigate. Which kind of puts it down to, yeah, you may really want those 2 models, and they are definitely good, but in terms of just the amount of models, you're going to get 10 Thunderers and 2 smaller heroes on foot instead. Which, like I say, it depends on your list building. I don't know loads about the Kaldon Overlord, so you may know more about me if you love this army. You go, well, no, because this box is a lot better. The Battleforce box is a lot better because you want these units. You want the name character and the frigate. But as far as I'm aware, the name character, like, he's cool, but in the most competitive setting, people don't tend to take him. And then the frigate, I don't think is the most competitive unit in Kaldon Overlords anyway, from what I've heard. But I may be wrong, But that's just my overall thoughts. And I think, to be honest, doing some quick maths, that if you were to buy the 2 start collecting boxes, you get £185 worth of stuff in those 2 start collecting boxes, which I'm aware may not be as good value as this in terms of, pound for pound. But in terms of units you actually want, like the name character, Brooke, he's expensive because he's just like a single model name character anyway. So his price is not always reflective of what is a fair price to pay for a single model. But that's my only concern of it. But like I say, if you're a Card and Overlords player, you may know more than me, and you may go, I don't know anything. This box is fantastic for this reason, but I have my concerns, and I just thought I would share them as well. So with that means we only have one more box to look at. And of course, that is going to belong to Destruction and the Gloomspy Git as part of the Loon Horde. Okay. So again, we're thinking this is going to be 120 to 125. You're going to get a savings of £57.50 to £52.50, depending on if it's 120 or 125 pounds. So automatically, not as good as a saving as the other boxes, which kind of sucks. If you're a Destruction player or you're a Gloomspy Git player and you really want a cool Gloomspy Git box for the best values, well, you got the least value one, unless I forgot to count the price of a unit, which is possible, but there's not too many models, so I think I got them all. And what I would also like to say with the Gloomspy Gits is, I frankly remember, and you may have gone there, there was a Code of Overlord one last time, or there was a Tzeentch one last time. I can't really remember, but I remember that there was a Gloomspy Git one last time, and I remember that it was mainly Squigs and Trolls, which, if you ask me, Squigs and Trolls are my favourite units from Gloomspy Git. They look the coolest, they look the funnest, and they just look so nice to play on the tabletop, and like I say, they just look really nice. However, as far as I'm aware, they are not the most competitive units to take. Like when I did my Why Play Gloomspy Git video with the AOS coach, who is an absolute lover and fan of the army, he was, in a nice way, saying that they're very fun and random, like the Squigs, for example, but they're not the most competitive. And I understand everyone here is not playing competitively, and that's absolutely fine. And if you haven't got a problem, great. But it's a shame how you've got the least good value one, and the units don't add the most to a competitive army. Okay, so going on to points, it is 850 to 940 points, depending on how you build it. So again, it's not a lot of points. If you go the cheapest way to build it, it's the least points compared to Cad and Overlords, for example. It's even less than that. What are you going to get? So it includes 22 models. So this is, of course, going to be your Squigs and your Trolls, as you can see on the box. But something I just want to point out that's interesting is that they only put 14 either Squig Hoppers / Boingort Bounders, where there should be 15. And I know that's such a silly thing to point out that they forgot to put one in when they took the picture, or if they just Photoshop the pictures they've already taken of these models and then put them all together with a white background. I don't know how they do it. That, to be honest, that's kind of maybe what I'm thinking how they do it, but I don't know. Maybe they reshoot the pictures. But the fact that they missed out one model is quite embarrassing. Don't worry, you'll get the extra model in the box, more than likely, unless it's a way to try and con you, which I severely doubt, and of course, just being silly, of course that's not the reason. But it just seems a bit stupid, unless they thought that the, Loon Boss on Giant Cave Squig was one of the Squig Hoppers and stuff, which would be silly because it's on a different size base and everything else. So, yeah, it just seems a bit weird. Okay, and then you've got, for the models you actually got in the box, right, so you've got one, or I put a lot of brackets on this, and you'll see what I mean. It may look a bit confusing if you see it on the screen, but I'll fully explain it. So you've got one, or bracket, 2 hero or heroes, and that's because the Loon Boss and Giant Cave Squig, despite the photographer not knowing, is a hero, and that's just flat out what it is, okay? But then you can make a Dank Hold Trog Boss instead of making a Dank Hold Trogoff later. So it's something to bear in mind, and this is what makes a big impact to the point cost overall of this box, okay? So then you have one battle line if. So this can be your 15 squig hoppers, and again you can split up the units as much as you like, but just like, you know, 1 war scroll for Battle Line F, and they become Battle Line if I believe the Loon Boss on Giant K-Squig is your general, or you have a Loon Boss on a Mangler Squig as well, that I believe is your general, then you unlock these as Battle Lines. So that's how you do that. So then you have your other units. So you have one other unit, so this is going to be your 6 Rockgut Troggoths, or it could be your 15 Grot Bounders, depending if you build the Boingok Bounders instead of the Squig Hoppers, and then you've got the Dankold Troggoth in case you didn't build the Dankold Trog Boss. So it sounds a bit confusing, but it's just because there's more ways to build your models in this, or basically more kits have different ways of how you can build them into different units. So a little bit of head scratching, but really there's only 90 points difference depending on if you want to go full expensive or minimum on this one, so it's not too bad. So what are my overall thoughts on this box? Aesthetically, I love it. Like I said, I love the squigs. I love the trolls. I think those trolls are some of the nicest models. I'm just going to say, like, one of the nicest models for that, or nicest box they brought out for destruction in general. The new trolls, or I should say Troggoths now, of course, for copyright reasons, obviously. And the squigs are really nice, and they just are painted up a nice bright colour, so it's very pleasing and catching on the eye. But I'm just trying to think, if you wanted to try and play on a competitive scale again, you don't really want these units. I mean, they may be useful to have one of them or something, but they're not going to be the most competitive for your army. And again, things can change as we go on. Like I said, you may be watching this video in the future, but at the moment they're not the most competitive. And then where I'd say, when I talked about the Disciples of Tzeentch, of going like, well, if you don't want to play the most competitively, the Disciples of Tzeentch, those acolytes and stuff, they're still pretty good. Whereas the Gloomspite Gitz army can suffer from a lot of, if you're not part of the main Moon clan, i.e. the big blocks of Grots, you kind of struggle. So that's a little bit annoying. And then the fact that the saving isn't as good. And if these are all priced the same, like I said, 120 to 125 pounds, then it just feels like straight up, this is by far the least value Battleforce box for Age of Sigmar this year. Which kind of, like I said, feels a bit like a kick in the balls. So yeah, it's annoying, but if you just absolutely love the models, okay, you are absolutely a massive fan of them, and I also compared it to the Start Collecting box for the Gloomspite Gitz, but I realised in that you don't get Squig Hoppers, you actually just get Cave Squig, so it's harder to do a comparison there, but you do get Trolls in it. But if you absolutely love Squigs and Trolls, you're not trying to be as competitive as you can, you just want generally to have fun, and you're not bothered that this one is like 30 or so pounds, you know, as not good value as some of the other boxes. You know, you're just looking at this and going like, I'm getting like an extra 30 quid plus worth of stuff for free. Beat your heart out, then you're going to absolutely love this box. But if you're not 100% sold on this box, I would say leave it. It's not that good of a deal, personally. So now I've reviewed all the Battleforce boxes, I thought I'd do something a bit fun and I'd pick my favourite one. So my favourite one is going to be the Ogor More Tribes Meat Grinder War Glut box set. So if Monster from the Discord is watching this, I'm sure he'll be happy, as he is mainly a Space Wolves player, but he's looking into getting into Age of Sigmar, and he's thinking Ogor More Tribes, and he's looking at this box thinking this is a great start. So I'm sure he's happy if he's heard me say that this is my favourite one. So I will say there's a caveat to it. My thing I least like about this box is going to be, why did they put a giant in there? Why didn't they just put in a Stonehorn or a Thunder Tusk kit, or even just like some Mournfang, you know, riders? That would be cool. But what I would say is that you can ally the giant in. It's not like the Nighthorn or the Malignant Start Collecting box where it's like you just can't actually put the unit of the Mortis engine into the army without being a big pain. So it's not the end of the world that the giant's in there, and the giant, I'd say, aesthetically fits in really well. I'd love it if there was a war scroll for the Ogor More Tribes to have for the giant, which, I don't know, like, as the Ogor More Tribes, they're quite big on, like, I don't know, enslaving creatures to work for them. Like, for example, you know, the Iron Blaster you get in this, the big cannon, is being pulled by Rhinox, or, you know, they Beastcore Raiders, they ride a lot of these animals. So it'd be cool if they, like, enslave that giant and he had like a different war scroll on the book, but that's not the case. But you can ally him in, and he can still do some stuff, and he can be a load of fun. And really that comes to my overall opinions of why I personally chose this box as my favourite. It's because it's, in all honesty, the army I would like to play the most, in which I still think has the good value of it. The Gloons by Gits came very close to that, but just because they didn't have as good as a value as a box, I went for the Ogor tribes instead. And also it's a very elite army, and it's an army that looks, like I say, very fun to play and hits very hard against the enemy. And yeah, that's really about it, guys. So with that, I hope you've enjoyed this video. More than anything, I hope it's helped you in some way. Like I say, I don't play these armies. I'm a Death player or a Slave Darkness player, which, you know, I'm disappointed there was no Death box this year. I had kind of my money on a Bone Reapers box coming out or something like that. I thought maybe they've been out a year now, they would get a box, but maybe because their models are still too new, Games Workshop still wants to sell them separately. Who knows? But I wouldn't have bought a Battleforce box this year anyway for financial circumstances, so it doesn't really matter too much. Okay guys, like I say, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was useful. If you did enjoy it, please smash that like button and that subscribe button. Don't just click it, absolutely smash it, because it massively shows me how much you enjoyed my content. And anything else, it lets YouTube know that other people may find this video useful. Attached to that, if you know someone who may find this video useful, please share it with them. If you're already a subscriber, please smash that notification button as well if you haven't, the little bell button, so that means that you'll never miss a future video again, especially if I'm doing like more live ones. It just means that you don't get catched out on it as well in case you would like to watch it. What I'd also like to say is a massive thank you to my patrons. You would have seen them at the start of the video, so I listed them. And you can see their names on the screen now, which I will read out. So you've got my Morghast, which is Sandback. Thank you very much for your support, mate. You've also got my Vampires. This is going to be Mir, Martinez, Ruris, 321, and Max T. And then my Necromancers, which is Jack L, Radiation Riley, and AW77. Guys and ladies, it doesn't matter what you are on the tier. Some obviously, like Morghast, is a huge sign of gratitude towards yourself for being able to support the channel that much, and every other member of my patrons. Because of you guys, I can continue this YouTube channel, so I really can't thank you enough for that, and a massive appreciation to you. And I'd also like to say, if you would like to become a patron and really help continue my channel and help me be able to make as many videos as possible to try and help really as many people get into the hobby, I have got a link to my Patreon at the top of the description down below. You're more than welcome to have a click on it and just have a look around. And if you can donate anything, even $1 a month, massively helps the channel and really goes, like I say, straight towards me being able to continue it. So thank you for considering that. Okay guys, so with that, I'm going to say again, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope that you thoroughly enjoyed it. And of course, remember to stay safe, wash your hands, wear a mask, stay hygienic. And of course, remember, until next time, Nagash is all, and all is one in Nagash.